Welcome to Truth X, where we dive into real life situations, conspiracies, all the things they say is not real, but we know it's real. But yeah, man, welcome. If this is your first time, this is the first video. So welcome to the family, and let's start this family right. Uh, People here right now will be the first ones here. Later on in the channel, we're gonna be doing giveaways. Uh, yeah, let's just get into it. Let's build a strong family, strong connection. Um, no one's right, no one's wrong. Let's learn together. Let's do this.
No, it's not that. It's Sodom and Gomorrah.
No.
So, in the Bible, there was a city, and people in the city were sinning and they're doing terrible acts, right? And God wanted to punish the city, and He said, "Okay, I'm gonna send fire to destroy it, but I'm gonna warn this family there that I think they're good people." And it happens to be this family of this guy named Lot. Now, Lot, he had like a couple of his family members. The angels came to him and warned him, "Hey, you guys have to leave because the city's gonna go up in flames." So they all dipped, they all left out, right? Immediately, when they started leaving, balls of fire started hitting the city.
Holy shit.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it started like engulfing the entire city into flames. It was crazy.
And it's a real story. That's what happened?
Listen.
Okay.
One rule God said to them
Yeah.
is you cannot look back. That's the one rule, right? And Lot and his family were moving, they were getting away from it, but it was so tempting for his wife. She really wanted to see what was happening to the city. So she turned her head and looked out at the city,
Yeah.
and she turned into a pillar of salt.
What?
She turned into a pillar of salt, right?
Okay.
Now check this out. Just recently, they found the pillar of salt.
We are witnessing the Hopi prophecy be unfolded right in front of our face. The Hopi prophecy spoke heavily on us.
Who else grew up in a Christian background? I remember that story when I was young about his wife turning into a pillow of salt and she looked back. I guess when I was younger, it scared me, whatnot. Who else has heard that story? I haven't heard about them finding proof of it though, so I'm gonna research that and check that out.
Moving into the fifth world. Some people may refer to it as the fifth dimension. The Hopis believed that there were 3 other world cataclysms before we got to this point. The first world was destroyed by fire. The second world was destroyed by ice. The third world was destroyed by the flood. Currently, we're in a 4th world transitioning to a 5th world. The Hopis wrote all their visions or transcendental premonitions on a wall. They spoke of these beings referred to as the gatekeepers. These extraterrestrial entities are what introduced them to corn. Corn is actually an extraterrestrial plant. They stated that these gatekeepers taught them about the belt stars. This is referring to the constellation of Orion. They referred to these beings as star ancestors or cosmic family. They stated that these beings would enter through a cosmic door, basically a portal. They also had a symbol etched in the rock that the Vatican actually used called the Globus Cruciger. This is a globe structure that actually has a cross on the top, and this is heavily promoted in Christianity. Globus Cruciger is the personification of a monarchy. Meaning one person had a rulership, basically like a king or a queen. We view that monarchy as the 1%. This is basically referring to the deletes that run this matrix. The Hopi spoke heavily on extraterrestrial visitation. There have been a lot more UFO sightings lately. There's been war and calamity all over the planet. Russia has now labeled America an enemy. Vladimir Putin.
It's crazy.
I heard this quote one time and it resonated. The moment when you don't know what to do means there's something that needs to be felt.
I heard that. I think.
This is the Earth. This is what the whole Earth looks like. Our entire Earth is a pyramid Bhumandala with 4 concentric rings. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is in 4s in the universe. Right? At the center, we've got what we now know as the Garden of Eden. So anyone who's been following our videos will know about this. The Garden of Eden's at the center. This is where we are here, the second ring. There's an outer ring and an outer ring outside that, all separated by these mountains, what we call the Antarctica ice wall. Okay, this is our South Pole, the Antarctica. And the North Pole, there is a mountain range separating us from the worlds at the center, from Eden, from Shambhala, Hyperborea. Okay? And outside, they've got their own wall separating from this. This last one is got the greatest one. It's called the Loka Loka Mountains in Vedic scriptures. These are the Loka Loka Mountains, the great, great mountains. And these are the last mountains before the torus field, the cosmic egg. So beyond this, there is no land. It's the cosmic egg blocking us out from the void outside. So let's focus on the center, on where we are and what that might look like. Around each of these four worlds is also in torus field. So remember, this is in the torus field. Each of these worlds also has its own torus field cocooning it. So there's a torus field around this outer world. There's a torus field around this one. There's a torus field around that one. And there's a torus field at the center. Okay? And what that would look like, essentially, is something like this. Okay? From our perspective, from where we are. Right? Almost like those Russian dolls. Right? So there's one at the center, a torus field like that. There's one on the outside, on the outer worlds, a bigger one. Then there's a bigger one on the outside. Right? Now, I noticed something very interesting about this. These toroidal fields are probably oblate spheroids in shape. So when mainstream science or NASA says the Earth is an oblate spheroid, this is what they're telling us. They're kind of telling us a half-truth, right? Which is why they can blatantly lie with a straight face, because they know they're usurping the truth. And when it comes out, they'll just probably say, well, you're too stupid to understand what we're saying, but we're telling you the truth. So this is an oblate spheroid. Underneath where we are, this is where the four layers would be: the crust, the mantle, inner core, and outer core. Just like mainstream science says, right? Inner Earth. And above us, we've got the three atmospheres within our toroidal field. We've got the troposphere, the stratosphere, right? The mesosphere, and the thermosphere inside our torus field. This top bit is what mainstream science calls the Van Allen belt. This is the Van Allen belt, this toroidal field. Right? They tell us there's a field of energy that they cannot go past called the Van Allen belt. This is it. By the way, they also tell us that there are 5 Van Allen belts in the universe. So that's the 4 of the worlds, the 5th one being the outermost one. They also tell us that our universe is covered with cosmic background microwave radiation, which is basically a torus field. So they're telling us that the whole universe is inside a torus field. Cosmic background radiation, electromagnetism. So again, they're telling us the truths, but in a twisted way so that we don't figure out exactly what it is. Okay? So that is what it would look like from our perspective. I also hypothesize that these toroidal fields have got different motions that they're moving at.
The Earth is not what you have been taught to be. You have been lied to since childhood. Honestly, it's time to do your own research and ask questions. Don't just take anything at face.
What do you guys think about that? Are you flat earthers or globers? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. I don't know. Sometimes they have interesting points to prove it's flat. I guess when we in school, we've all learned that it's a globe and it's round. But let me know your thoughts.
Face value, yeah? Share this video to a friend. Watch out for more. And oh, this is for entertainment purposes.
What was hidden was greater, forbidden knowledge. The ancient world fair called the New Dawn. If you, dear follower, do not know what the New Dawn exhibition or the World Exhibition is, I will tell you about it. It is a very old exhibition, as the exhibition was established.
These world fairs are very interesting. I think this is something that everyone should check out. There's a lot of rumors about 1,000 years of history being replaced, and where there was great fires is where all these world fairs were. And they say this is the land of Tartaria, like a hidden community, hidden people, hidden land, lost land. And a lot of these old buildings, like cathedrals, old churches, they said that these buildings are built by Tartarians. They're not built by the people that they say built it. So this is a good, interesting subject. I'm still researching it myself. Let's dive down it together.
300 years ago. It is a traveling exhibition every year in a different country. It was a global event such as the World Football Championship and international competitions, but in science only, and it was all his mother brings out her discovered knowledge to the public, and people, scientists, and the press come and watch it. Then the First and Second World War broke out, and almost everything disappeared, and each nation began to hide its knowledge from the other nation.
That's crazy.
Alright, so, based on the last video, and God kind of has me in this season where he just kind of wants me to expose demonology. And, yeah, so let's just get right into it. So we're going to talk about controlling, manipulating people and spirits, which of course is the mother of this spirit is the spirit of Jezebel. So we're going to be breaking down spirit of Jezebel. Spirit of Jezebel is the spirit that wants to control and manipulate and pull people's strings from the back end. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get in trouble or take full accountability for what they stand on. Like, this is different from the spirit of Leviathan. Leviathan will rage bait you to your face, and it's not really fear based. You know what I'm saying? They really don't care if you fear it or not. They just want you to crash out. Jezebel is a much more slow death. They want you to be used as a utensil. And when you're done being used by this individual person, this ex, this, woman, man, whoever it is, because it can dwell in both men and women, but it's usually associated with women just because that's who she was in the Bible. So I've highlighted some verses. I just did a quick Bible study just so I can give you guys a picture of what this spirit of Jezebel is capable of doing. So let's just go ahead and dive into 1 Kings chapter 21, right? It says, "But Jezebel his wife came to him and said to him, 'Why is your spirit so vexed that you eat no food?' And he said to her, 'Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, Give me your vineyard for money, or else, if it please you, I will give you another.' And Jezebel his wife said to him, 'Do you not now govern Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let your heart be cheerful. I will give you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.'" So let me just cook, because I know this is kind of boring, but let me cook. It says, "So she wrote a letter in Ahab's name, her husband, and sealed them with his seal. Forgery, which is a felony nowadays. And she sent letters to the elders and to the leaders who lived in Naboth in his city. And she wrote in the letters, 'Proclaim a fast and set Naboth at the head of the people, and set 2 worthless men opposite to him. And let him bring a charge against him, saying, You have cursed God and the king. Then take him out and stone him to death.'" So that's exactly what happened. So notice how she wrote it in the king's name. She's Ahab's wife. Ahab is like a weak dude. He's like a dude that pretty much submits to his wife, which is the spirit of backwardness as well. But it's because that is accompanied by the spirit of Jezebel. This spirit's ultimate goal is to manipulate you into doing stuff that you know you shouldn't be doing. And it's the whole goal of Jezebel is to drive you insane and make you feel like you're crazy, all while keeping you bound in sin. She wrote this stuff in her husband's name because this is the Old Testament, y'all. So this is at a time where if a woman spoke to a man out of turn, she could get unalived. But she's the king. She's the queen because she's the king's wife at this time. Now, it's also important that we note that as soon as Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned and was dead, Jezebel said to Ahab, "Arise." So this Ahab spirit that doesn't always have to be present, but it is common. You will see this in modern day relationships, because a woman can be getting physically abused and, she can suffer from domestic violence, but yet a man can still be present during this. You dig what I'm saying? And a lot of times he is the gangbanger. She's going to college, but yet she's still tolerating that. She has a spirit of Ahab, and the man is the one who has a spirit of Jezebel. So it can come through different, sexes and genders, like I said. But I just want to give you guys a breakdown. If you encounter any of these spirits, you have to take it to the holy courts. That's why worshiping Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, is very important. So I hope this helped y'all. I hope this gave y'all some insight of what they do. These are controlling spirits.
The next logical step, if you saw the last video, is to find out your value.
Big him up. No, that was some deep information. What do you guys think? Do you think it's true? What do you guys think? I think there's some truth to that. I believe more energies. I wouldn't put it on a religious level, but I believe more energies, like people carry different energies and them energies stick with them. And yeah, I believe that's almost like a bacteria.
How do you do that? It's really simple, and it's actually kind of fun. Step 1. Think of a moment in your life where you felt truly fulfilled, alive, and just good, like a really high moment, a high peak moment. What was happening? Write this down. Who was there? Write this down, all these things. What was going on? What made it so beautiful and bright? Okay? Now those are gonna give you a certain set of values, right? The second step, step 2, think of a moment you were down, you call it rock bottom, you were rejected, angry, really triggered, really bothered, deeply affected. What was happening? Who was there? What values were getting stepped on? What values were being suppressed? What values were being oppressed and pushed and rejected? It become really clear. Just notice this and write that down. Now from both, you're gonna have both sides, the values that you felt were lifted and able to breathe on the high end, and the values that were oppressed, suppressed, and rejected. Those both give you an insight into your top values. All right? It may take a few minutes, but it's well worth it. Make sure you pick at least 3 to 5 values, so that in any given moment, when you have a decision to make, when you're choosing between two things and you're like, which one do I make? Do I take this job or do I do this? You go, what are my values? I value growth, freedom, connection. And that is what makes it super clear to live my life, make decisions, and just attract the things that are for me, for my soul, to me. So do the exercise. Let me know what you thought, and we'll keep digging deeper if you guys like this video.
Here's propaganda we don't stand for. Fluoride was never actually put in your water as a health initiative to protect the teeth of our children. Fluoride is linked to decreases in childhood IQ and massively affects the pineal gland, which lowers intellect in humans. It's the only medication administered to the public without their consent.
The pineal gland, or as I like to say, pineal gland, is more than just that. It's very important. The pineal gland is what pushes out neuromelanin for colored people, or for anyone really, and it's very important. So the fact fluoride damages that is crazy, because remember, fluoride is in everything: your water, your toothpaste, carbonated water, which is in every single fizzy drink. Like, so it's very important.
Of course, besides other things, but secondly, this statement:
not need men. They are an added bonus and fun in our life.
Oh, you don't need men, right? Who's going to fix your plumbing? Who's going to fix your electrical issues? Who's going to build your bridges, maintain your roads, maintain your parks, supply your streets? Who's doing all of that? Who in the middle of the night, when you hear somebody coming into your house, without your consent, of course, are you calling first? You're not going to call up your girlfriend like, hey, somebody... No. You're going to the man first. So I don't think the statement, we don't really need men, is actually true. Of course, you are using that statement due to the fact that you've only come across poor quality men. If you found the right one, you wouldn't be saying that. By that statement right there, we clearly can see that you have been brainwashed by the feminist movement and have come across really poor quality men. Because if the case were that you came across good men, good quality men, you probably wouldn't be saying it. So, next, as a Christian, you should be supporting this place. Absolutely not. I will not be supporting the state founded in 1948 that is completely different than biblical place mentioned. They've infiltrated every area of our society. Their blackmail techniques have caused information to be withheld from the people of the United States. They have created most of the, I'm going to call them at this point, terrorist organizations, because isn't the feminist movement, isn't BLM, isn't Antifa, yeah. The 1948 version actually was behind all of these organizations. So no, I don't support them. As a follower of Christ, I only support and worship Jesus Christ. I do not worship anybody else. Next. Women being told that they have to dress with zero modesty to get the approval of a mate. Women that are wearing absolutely no clothes usually end up being super easy. But on the first date, it's pretty close to the second or third. Usually The ones with no clothes are usually holding a vape in one hand and a vodka Red Bull in the other hand. No modesty. That's why you are attracting these types of mates. And they're not even mates. At this point, they're just like being lended to the male for the night and never seeing them again. That's because he doesn't want to take you home to his family. You put on some clothes, you dress like a respectable woman, you probably will find a respectable mate. They tell you, don't wear any clothes, you're young, flash the body that you have because you're never going to have it again. No, that's exactly why. You're 35, still clubbing, still in no clothes, and still not married with kids.
To the point. I think this video is a bit old, but still, it's crazy. Prayers to anyone affected. I think that was this year, earlier this year. I'm sure of it.
You were never supposed to work 40 hours a week. Did you know that? Well, here's how they made you. See, for most human history...
That was crazy. It's almost like the whole city was burning. Like, prayers, for real.
Life wasn't divided into work and time off. We lived in rhythms. Hunting, gathering, farming, celebrating, resting. Work was a part of life, not life itself. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Factories needed workers, and machines, they ain't need nothing, okay? They nonstop. Before factories, work rose and fell with the seasons. Bursts of effort followed by bursts of recovery. But machines demanded constant output. So humans were reshaped to match the machine. Locked into rigid schedules, day after day after day, sun up to sundown. And when workers finally broke down, strikes, protests, forced to compromise, the 40-hour work week was born. The 40-hour work week wasn't designed for health. It was designed to keep machines running just enough to stop workers from breaking. And that's why we're still here. A tired, overworked society is easier to control.
Facts.
Too busy to question. Dependent on paychecks to survive. The system wasn't designed to free us. It was designed to keep the machine running.
Very true.
And here's the truth. Spending most of your life working for someone else's dream creates a world where stress, burnout, disconnection, they're normal.
Literally,
a world where parents barely see their kids, where creativity is stifled, where life is measured in dollars and cents instead of meaning. But imagine a new conscious world where time is spent building community, creating art, learning, deepening our spiritual practice, a world where work serves life, not the other way around. Because we weren't designed to live for work. We were designed to live for life. So here's the real question. If you weren't working for money, how would you spend your time?
It's a good question.
Put it in the comments. I want to know.
For real, put it in the comments. I want to know as well. Good question. Oh, got some UFOs in England. Now, what is that? That look crazy.
Zombie squirrels. Yeah, you heard me right. Zombie squirrels are being spotted all over the United States. This sounds really familiar to me, 'cause last week, Because last week I just made a video about zombie rabbits. Yeah, wild rabbits that are growing tentacles out of their heads because of some kind of virus. The rabbits were originally only found in Colorado, but these squirrels are being spotted everywhere. And their condition that they're calling zombie squirrel is also caused by some kind of virus. It appears to be sores or patches on their fur. And according to experts, it shouldn't affect human beings. So if you see one of these squirrels running around, don't pick it up, don't try to pet it, don't give it a kiss, because even if it might not affect you, this thing's got some kind of virus. So basically, in the span of about 10 days,
definitely will affect you. They don't even know why the squirrels have got it, but they're so confident it won't affect you. It will definitely affect you. Do not touch them. That is crazy, though. The rabbits looked crazy.
Rabbits started growing tentacles because of a virus, and squirrels are getting big tumors and sores because of a virus. Coincidence? I don't know. Okay, Booshkis, I just wanted to share that with you. Shavadoo!
How did Japan attack Hawaii on a flat earth? Well, simple. There's your map. Take a look, because right now we're about to look at flight paths and why they make no sense on a globe. Auckland to Lima, Peru, stops in Los Angeles. Why? Makes sense on a flat earth. Buenos Aires to New Delhi, stops in Amsterdam. Makes no sense on a globe. Perfect sense on a flat earth. Here we have Sydney to Lima, Peru, which stops in Los Angeles. On a globe, it makes zero sense. But on a flat earth, it looks like it makes sense. Let's take a look at Wellington to Lima, which stops in Los Angeles. Again, makes zero sense on a globe, but perfect sense on a flat earth. Now let's look at Wellington to Mexico City, which stops in Los Angeles. On a flat earth, it makes a lot of sense. Look at that. You got Wellington to Los Angeles, and then you go to Mexico City. Perfect sense. Now on the globe model, we have what looks like the most ridiculous. What's happening? Why would this ever happen? That would not be a flight path. It makes no sense. But again, this is all my opinion. I recommend everyone does their own research and comes to their own conclusions.
I think we found a sea monster on Google.
What are we saying about that? Is that proof? Would we call that proof? If you can prove that on a flat earth, this is why your flight's like that, and well, on a global earth, it has to go round and round, go back on itself to get fuel. That on the round earth, you pass your destination to go back on yourself to get fuel to go back to your destination, which doesn't make sense, as we know. What do you guys think about that? Leave it in the comments.
Google Earth. Stick with me. It's worth the wait. Now that's a boat. That's just a boat. Now look at this thing. That's a jet ski. That's a jet ski probably, but behind the jet ski. Get real close up. Look at that. Look at that. Is that some kind of giant squid? I don't know, but it's huge. It's got to be 50, 60 feet long, sea monster.
Dlatego to się nazywa. A tam w nocy tu wchodzi. To się powiedzieć, wyobraź sobie, że w nocy tutaj. Ty zamurowali klienta? Ale tu są stopy.
Statue or petrified giant? There is a lot of history books, and look at his shoe. That looks crazy. It looks like they're stuck in the shoe. There's a lot of books that talk about giants being petrified and whatnot. What do you guys think? Petrified giant, or just a statue that's lost, stuck in a cave? Doubt it. The features are too realistic.
Zobaczcie, tu jest sznurek, który misi mają przy pasie. Ona schodzi w dół naturalnie. Ona była wyżłobiona przez ocean, który...
The reason why a lot of people want to get under your skin and get into your mind and try to knock you off your course, it's not simply because it's just, oh, chosen one and all of that, you know, basic stuff. It's because these people have a spirit of Leviathan. What Leviathan wants to do, See, it's different from Jezebel. Jezebel can be overt or covert narcissism, right? Narcissism is just the scientific word for the spirit of Jezebel. Leviathan is like the spirit of, you could say like bipolar disorder, BPD, right? And that is the spirit that wants you to crash out, essentially. The spirit of Leviathan is the thing that you ever like was talking to an ex in a toxic situation and you broke it down to a science on why you move the way you move and the traumas that you went through and endured on your, growing up. You broke it down to a science, why you felt the way you felt, how, who it came from, where it started. And that person, like, at that point, they refused to, like, hearken unto your message. And they knew exactly what you were trying to convey, but they twisted it or they tried to act like they didn't know what you were talking about. That's the spirit of Leviathan right there. That spirit wants to make you crash out so that Satan now has a reason to come in. You understand what I'm saying? So Jezebel will use blackmail and extortion. Oh, well, I done did all of this stuff for you. That's the least you can do for me. That's the spirit of Jezebel. Now it makes you want to feel bad and do for that person. No, Leviathan knows exactly what's going on and wants you to crash out. It wants you to forfeit your blessing. And then let's take it a step further. The ultimate goal of Leviathan is to plant unforgiveness in your heart. Because with the spirit of Leviathan is one of the most powerful and dangerous demons, because most sins that people do that they don't want to budge on are situations where they were actually wronged in. Let me explain. And if y'all hear my daughter in the background, I do apologize, but she a toddler. She going crazy. Say, for instance, I go somewhere and... Now, let's use a better example. Say, for instance, I get into my mama, right? And that makes me crash out on my dukes. And let's say my mama really said something hurtful to me. Oh, I wish you was never born, right? Let's go with that. That spirit of Leviathan is going to feed and fester on that. First, it's going to turn into anger. Then that's going to turn into wrath and malice. Now I'm going to start treating women different because of my mom, this mother wound. Now I'm going to establish a unrepentant heart and a love that has waxed cold, because now in my flesh, I'm able to justify why I move with pride and anger all the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that spirit wants to make you crash out under the context that you are justified because that person wronged you first.
That was deep. I feel everyone can take a lesson from that. I feel like we all probably met someone like that. I know I have. Where you can actually explain to them in detail, no, this is what happened, this is why I'm upset, this is why I feel away, not shouting, not arguing, and they literally choose to not understand, they choose to act like what you're saying doesn't make sense, and that can make someone crash out and drive someone nuts. I think everyone should take heed to know what's good for you, know what's bad for you, keep good energy around you, and keep bad energy away from you. And it doesn't matter if it's family, doesn't matter if you love them, if it's not good for you, keep it away from you. Get into this one. You guys know who these guys are, right? Yes, we do. Oh, wow. Same person. And I haven't muted it, there's no sound on this one. That's crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. These are definitely the same people. Well, the government just said, listen, you ain't got to do your sentence, but you got to do a quick mainland in that. What's going on? And they look like spitting images, like younger and older. Like, it is actually crazy. What do you guys think of this? Oh, we can't hear it. Let's skip this one.
لو سمحتوا يا جماعة، التنانين بتلف حوالين العمارة عندنا. لو سمحتوا بعد إذنكم، أنا في منطقة في ظهر العروبة. لو سمحتوا التنانين عروبة. لو سمحتوا التنانين.
That one looked real, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Real AI? The only reason I say that is because if I see that from far, I might try to record. But when it gets that close, I'm running. I'm not standing there. I'm running. But maybe that's just me. What do you guys think?
German flat earth map from World War II has just been uncovered, and it depicts another ice wall all around Earth with other continents and land masses that are outside of it. And supposedly Germany during this time period went on expeditions. See these black circles? I had to erase that so we didn't have to see their symbol, but this is supposedly where they went out and just claimed this land. Here's New Schwabenland, whatever that is, and they actually have Asgard way over there. And then up here we've got Terra de Vista. I'm not sure what that is, and I don't know what that is either. Is that supposed to be the top of the earth or something? And then over here we have the lost continent of Lemuria, which apparently went underneath the sea and sank somehow, but I guess it's on this map from the 1940s. But a lot of these words we can't even read because it's in German, but this is also a reflection of the moon map, if you've ever seen that.
That's deep. Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get the algorithm pushing this. Be back with you soon. Do a couple videos per week. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, innit? And see you soon. Truth X over and out.